When the lights go out, the internet dies, and the hum of electricity disappears, your world shrinks fast. Suddenly, every decision matters. Every tool, every bite of food, every drop of water. Blackouts aren't just an inconvenience, they're a stress test for survival. And without the right gear, even a short outage can spiral into chaos. Surviving a blackout isn't about luck, it's about preparation. The difference between panic and control comes down to what you've got on hand when the grid collapses. Miss the essentials, and you're left fumbling in the dark, thirsty, cold, and vulnerable. Nail the essentials, and you stay calm, secure, and one step ahead. That's why today we're breaking down the 12 essential items you must have to survive any blackout. These aren't optional extras, they're the backbone of your survival plan. And trust me, number 12 is the game changer most people overlook, but once you have it, you'll never fear a blackout again. Number 1, water supply and purification tablets. Let's cut the drama. You can live weeks without food, but without water, you're done in 3 days. And here's the kicker. In a blackout, your faucet is nothing more than a shiny decoration. That's why water isn't optional. It's survival rule number 1. A gallon per person per day keeps you alive, cooking, and thinking straight. And when your bottled stash runs low, purification tablets are the ace up your sleeve. Drop one in, wait a few minutes, and suddenly that sketchy river water or bathtub stash is safe to drink. Here's where most people screw up. They load up on flimsy plastic water bottles and stack them in the garage like they're set for life. Bad move. Those thin bottles degrade, leak, and taste like chemicals after a year. If you're serious about survival, invest in sturdy 5-gallon jugs, rotate them every 6 to 12 months, and keep them tucked away in a cool, dark spot. Even better, throw in a collapsible water container. They fill fast, fold flat, and save precious space when every inch counts. And the cost? This is the part that blows people's minds. A solid 5-gallon jug runs maybe 15 to 20 bucks, and purification tablets, you're looking at 25 cents a dose. That's pennies on the dollar for something that literally keeps you alive. But here's the warning. Bottled water prices jumped 10% just last year, and with supply chains wobbling, expect that to double the second disaster strikes. Water is going to become liquid gold. But here's the twist. Water alone won't cut it. Once your body's hydrated, you're still going to crash hard if you don't have fuel to burn. And the next item on this list, it's criminally underrated, cheap, and one of the smartest blackout moves you can make. Number 2, non-perishable food is where most people get cocky. They think, I've got a fridge full, I'm good. Wrong. In a blackout, that fridge becomes a ticking time bomb. The clock starts the second the power cuts, and within a day or two, everything inside turns into a warm, useless mess. That's why non-perishable food isn't just smart, it's essential. We're talking canned goods, freeze-dried meals, peanut butter, rice, beans. Staples that don't care if your power is out for a week or a month. These aren't gourmet dinners, they're raw fuel. And when you're cold, stressed, and burning energy, just to think straight, fuel is survival. Here's the strategy. Don't just grab random cans and toss them on a shelf. Think about protein first. Tuna, chicken, beans, nut butters. Add in some calorie-dense carbs like rice, pasta, or oats, and then layer in freeze-dried meals that only need hot water to come alive. Rotation is key here. Eat what you store what you eat. That way, nothing hits expiration and your stash stays fresh. Bonus move? Vacuum-sealed Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. They can stretch shelf life from a couple years to over a decade. The best part? Non-perishables are dirt cheap compared to what they give you. A can of beans? Less than $1. Rice? About 50 cents a pound. Even freeze-dried packs, which look expensive at first, break down to less than $3 a meal when bought in bulk. And here's the scary part. Prices on basics like rice and beans jumped nearly 14% last year alone. If that trend continues, doubling in the next crisis isn't a maybe. It's a guarantee. Stocking up now locks in your safety at today's prices. And if you think food is just about calories, you're missing the bigger picture. Because in a blackout, it's not just what you eat, it's how you're going to cook it. And that's where the next item comes in, and trust me, most people don't even think about it until it's too late. Number 3, flashlights with extra batteries. Candles feel comforting, sure. They flicker, they glow, they look like something out of a survival movie. But here's the truth. In a real blackout, candles are a liability. They tip, they burn out fast, and one careless move can turn your safe room into a fire hazard. Flashlights, on the other hand, are pure survival tech. They cut through the dark with precision, give you light exactly where you need it, and if you've got a good stash of batteries, they'll keep working long after the candles are gone. In a blackout, control is everything, and flashlights give you that edge. But don't just buy one and think you're covered. You want at least 2 or 3 spread around the house, one in the kitchen, one by your bed, and one in your go bag. Go for LED models because they sip power instead of chugging it, and always pack extra batteries. Store them in a dry container, rotate them once a year, and you'll never be left fumbling in the dark. Pro tip, keep a small flashlight clipped to your keychain or belt. When the lights snap off suddenly, you don't want to waste 10 minutes digging around. The cost is almost laughable compared to the value. A solid LED flashlight runs 10 to 20 bucks, and a bulk pack of batteries, maybe another 15. That's peace of mind for less than a dinner out. And here's the kicker. Battery prices are already creeping up, with projections of another 10 to 15% hike next year. When demand spikes during a crisis, good luck finding them at all. Stock them now while they're cheap. And here's where it gets even better, because hands-free light takes things to the next level. That's the next item on this list, and once you see why it matters, you'll never think of lighting the same way again. Number 4, headlamps. Flashlights are great, but here's the problem. They tie up one of your hands. And in a blackout, that's a serious handicap. Try cooking dinner, fixing a busted pipe, or hauling supplies up the stairs with one hand holding a flashlight and the other doing all the work. It's clumsy, slow, and dangerous. That's where headlamps flip the script. Strap one on and suddenly you've got both hands free while the beam follows your line of sight. It's like giving yourself night vision superpowers without the Hollywood price tag. They're not just for campers or miners. In a blackout, headlamps are the unsung heroes. Cooking by candlelight? Forget it. With a headlamp, you can dice veggies, stir a pot, or boil water without juggling a flashlight under your chin. Need to check the fuse box, patch a leak, or even just read a map? The headlamp does the job and keeps your hands free for the important stuff. And here's the kicker. Most modern headlamps come with adjustable brightness settings, strobe for signaling, and even red light mode to save battery and protect your night vision. Storage is easy. Toss one in your go bag, keep one in the kitchen drawer, and one by the bed. Rotate the batteries once a year, just like you would with your flashlights, and you'll never be caught off guard. Bonus move? Grab a rechargeable model with a solar option and cut the dependency on disposable batteries altogether. And the price? A solid, durable headlamp runs anywhere from 20 to 30 bucks, with budget models starting closer to 10. That's a steal when you think about the difference it makes in an emergency. But don't wait too long. Battery-powered gear saw a price spike of nearly 12% last year, and headlamps are no exception. Expect them to double if the supply chain gets strained again. Now here's where it gets really interesting, because light is only half the battle. The next item keeps your lifeline to the outside world alive, even when the grid's been down for days. And without it, you're flying blind. Number 5, portable power bank. Solar, if possible. When the grid crashes, your phone isn't just a gadget anymore, it's your lifeline. It's your emergency calls, your maps, your flashlight backup, even your last link to breaking news. But here's the hard truth. Without power, that shiny smartphone turns into a useless brick in less than a day. That's why a portable power bank isn't a luxury. It's survival gear. A solid bank will recharge your phone 2, 3, sometimes even 5 times over, buying you days of connectivity when everyone else is panicking in the dark. Now here's where the smart move comes in. Don't just grab the cheapest one at the checkout line. Look for a power bank with at least 20,000 milliamp hours. That's enough juice to keep not just your phone, but also flashlights, radios, and even small fans running. And if you really want to play long game, go solar. A solar charger may take hours to refill under the sun, but when outlets are dead for days or weeks, it's the difference between being connected and cut off. Pro tip, charge it fully before you ever stash it, and keep the cables you actually use tucked right alongside it. No sense in having power if you can't plug in. The cost is shockingly low compared to the payoff. A mid-range 20,000 milliamp hour power bank runs about 30 to 40 bucks, while a decent solar model lands closer to 50. That's less than most people spend on a dinner date, and it could literally be the tool that gets you rescued. And here's the kicker. Lithium battery prices shot up nearly 20% in the past 2 years, and experts are saying that curve is only going steeper. Wait too long and you'll be paying double for the same pack. And while your phone keeps you connected, it won't save you if you're bleeding, burned, or sick. That's why the next item is non-negotiable. And it separates the casual, I'll be fine crowd from the people who are actually ready to survive. Number 6, first aid kit. Here's the thing about blackouts. The world doesn't pause just because the power's out. You can still cut your hand opening a can, burn yourself on a propane stove, or spike a fever in the middle of the night. But without electricity, the hospital might be dark, the pharmacy might be closed, and emergency services might be overwhelmed. That's why a first aid kit isn't optional. It's your frontline defense when help is far away. A stocked kit means you're not gambling with your health while the rest of the world scrambles. But don't settle for those flimsy $10 drugstore kits with 2 Band-Aids and a pair of tweezers. You want the real deal? Antiseptic wipes, gauze, adhesive bandages in multiple sizes, burn cream, scissors, medical tape, and painkillers at the bare minimum. Add in gloves, a digital thermometer, and any prescription meds you rely on. Because during a blackout, pharmacies aren't handing out refills. Bonus move? Toss in electrolyte packets and a small emergency guidebook. Panic makes people forget the basics, and having instructions right there can save precious seconds. Storage is simple. Keep 1 kit in your main living area, 1 in your go bag, and if you can swing it, a backup in your car. That way, you're covered no matter where you are when disaster hits. Rotate meds before they expire, replace used supplies, and don't crack open sealed sterile gear unless you absolutely have to. And here's the part nobody thinks about. First aid gear is cheap now, but the costs are creeping. Bandages, gloves, and antiseptics have all seen price jumps in the last 2 years thanks to supply shortages, and another wave could easily push prices up 20% or more. Spending $50 today could save you hundreds later, not to mention your health. Now here's where it gets critical, because once you've got your body covered, you need to stay informed. Without this next item, you're blind to the outside world, and in a blackout, ignorance isn't just scary, it's dangerous. Number 7. Emergency radio, hand crank, or solar. When the grid goes down, silence is one of the scariest things you'll ever experience. No TV, no internet, no cell towers, just you, the dark, and a whole lot of not knowing what comes next. And in survival, ignorance isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. That's why an emergency radio is worth its weight in gold. With a simple hand crank or solar-powered model, you can tap into weather alerts, government warnings, and evacuation orders. The kind of information that literally decides whether you stay put or run for your life. Here's why it matters. Storms don't stop just because the power is out. Floods, aftershocks, wildfires, they all strike in the dark, and without intel, you're the last to know. A good emergency radio keeps you plugged into the updates that matter, even if every tower and outlet around you is dead. Many models even double as flashlights and USB chargers, which makes them a 2-for-1 survival tool. Storing one is easy. Keep it in the same spot you stash your flashlight and power bank so it's always within reach. Go for a hand crank or solar model, because betting on batteries in a long blackout is like gambling with your safety. If you can, grab one with NOAA weather band access. That's the real-time pipeline straight from the source. And here's the kicker. These radios are surprisingly affordable. You can pick one up for $25 to $40, which is insane when you think about the information it delivers. But don't snooze on it. Emergency gear prices have already seen spikes of up to 15% in the past year. And if another storm season slams the supply chain, these could vanish off shelves overnight. Now think about it. You've got light, power, medical supplies, and information. But all of that won't matter if the temperature drops and your body heat drains faster than your battery life. That's why the next item is non-negotiable, and most people underestimate how fast the cold can kill. Number 8, warm blankets and sleeping bags. When the lights go out in winter, the real danger isn't hunger, it's cold. A freezing house can sap your energy, weaken your immune system, and turn a minor inconvenience into a life-threatening situation in hours. That's why warm blankets and sleeping bags aren't just comfort items, they're survival tools. The right insulation keeps your body heat locked in, helping you stay functional, alert, and ready to act when the world outside turns icy and unforgiving. Here's the strategy. Don't just rely on whatever old comforter you have lying around. Grab thermal sleeping bags, wool blankets, or even emergency Mylar blankets. They're lightweight, packable, and can trap heat like nothing else. Layering is key. A sleeping bag over a wool blanket or a stack of smaller blankets gives you flexibility depending on how cold it gets. Keep a set in your bedroom, a backup in your car, and a few compact emergency blankets in your go bag. That way, no matter where you end up when the blackout hits, you're covered. And the cost? Shockingly reasonable. A quality sleeping bag runs between $40 to $60, wool blankets $20 to $30 each, and emergency Mylar blankets can be had for under $5 a piece. Compared to the value literally keeping you alive, that's a bargain. Prices for insulated gear have crept up slightly over the last year, so locking in your stockpile now is smarter than waiting until winter rolls in and supply spikes. But here's the kicker. Staying warm is only part of the battle. Even with insulation, your body still needs fuel to generate heat. That's where the next item comes in, and trust me, most people overlook it until the hunger pangs hit hard. Number 9. Cooking source, portable stove, or propane burner. Cold beans get old fast, and in a blackout, they can quickly turn from meh to unbearable. That's why a portable stove or propane burner isn't just a convenience, it's a survival lifeline. Boiling water, heating meals, or even making a simple cup of tea suddenly becomes a morale booster, not a guessing game in the dark. Hot food keeps your body fueled, your mind sharp, and your spirits up when everything else feels bleak. Here's how to do it right. Grab a small camping stove or a propane burner that's rated for indoor safe use, and keep extra fuel on hand. One small propane tank can last multiple meals if you use it wisely, and folding stoves or compact models fit neatly in a cabinet or go bag. Don't forget the little extras, a lightweight pot, heat-resistant gloves, and a fire extinguisher nearby for safety. The goal isn't gourmet cuisine, it's reliable, efficient heat whenever you need it. Cost-wise, this is a no-brainer. A decent portable stove will run $25 to $50, and a 5-pound propane tank is usually under $10. Considering the energy, safety, and comfort it gives you in a blackout, it's money well spent. And here's the kicker. Propane and small fuel canisters are subject to price spikes, sometimes doubling during emergencies. Stocking up now locks in access when everyone else is scrambling. But remember, even with heat and food, survival isn't just about what you eat, it's also about tools. That's where a good multi-tool comes in, and it's about to become one of your most underrated pieces of gear. Number 10. Multi-tool. A multi-tool is one of those things that looks small and harmless, but in a blackout, it's pure gold. One tool, endless uses, cutting rope, opening cans, tightening screws, or even fixing a broken stove. It's basically your survival Swiss Army knife, packing a dozen critical functions into one compact, easy-to-carry device. When the world goes dark and everything seems to break at once, having a tool that does it all keeps you in control instead of panicking. Here's the strategy. Don't just grab the cheapest gadget on the shelf. Look for quality stainless steel, spring-loaded pliers, a sharp knife, screwdriver heads, and scissors. Bonus points if it has a small saw or bottle opener. Trust me, these little extras make life way easier when you're improvising. Keep one in your main kit, one in your go bag, and if you can, one tucked in the car. That way, no matter where you are when the blackout hits, you've got the right tool in reach. And the price? Surprisingly low for the leverage it gives you. Decent multi-tools start around $25 to $40, and even the premium models rarely exceed $80. Considering what it can do in a survival scenario, that's a tiny investment for a massive payoff. Just a heads up, quality tools are seeing a small but steady price hike as supply chains tighten, so locking one down now is smarter than waiting. But while a multi-tool keeps you fixing things, it won't help you trade, buy, or secure essentials if the system is down. That's why the next item, cash and small bills, is one of the quietest yet most critical survival hacks most people completely ignore. Number 11, cash in small bills. When the lights go out and the ATMs go silent, that little card in your wallet suddenly becomes worthless. In a blackout, cash isn't just convenient, it's king. Small bills, especially ones you can break easily, are the real survival currency. They let you trade for essentials, tip someone helping you out, or buy fuel when digital systems are down. Without cash on hand, even the most prepped pantry might as well be invisible to the world outside. Here's the smart play. Keep a mix of 20s, 10s, 5s, and 1s tucked in multiple places. A safe spot at home, a hidden envelope in your go bag, even a wallet you carry every day. You don't want to dump a $100 bill for a single loaf of bread, and you don't want all your funds trapped in one spot either. Rotate occasionally, check for torn or worn bills, and keep the total realistic. You want enough to survive, but not so much it's a risk if lost or stolen. The best part? Cash is cheap insurance. You're literally trading a few $100 now for the ability to navigate a system failure that could otherwise leave you stranded. But here's the kicker. Inflation and scarcity mean small bills can get hard to find. And during emergencies, prices jump fast. $20 today could be worth half tomorrow if you don't plan ahead. And while cash keeps you trading, it won't keep you clean, healthy, or organized. That's why the next item on the list, buckets and trash bags, is low-tech, cheap, but absolutely critical. And almost everyone forgets about it until it's too late. Number 12, buckets and trash bags. Buckets and trash bags aren't glamorous, but in a blackout, they're lifesavers. Without running water, waste management becomes a serious problem fast. Human nature being what it is, ignoring it even for a day can turn a simple survival situation into a full-blown health crisis. Having a few sturdy buckets lined with trash bags gives you a simple, portable solution for sanitation, and it keeps your space clean and your family safe. Here's the smart move. Get at least 2 or 3 5-gallon buckets with tight-fitting lids. Line them with heavy-duty trash bags and stash some kitty litter or absorbent material at the bottom for odor control. Keep one in the bathroom, one in a utility area, and maybe one in a go bag if you're on the move. After use, tie the bag shut, store it in a safe spot, and rotate supplies as needed. It's low-tech, but it works, and it keeps disease, odor, and panic at bay. The cost is tiny compared to the payoff. A sturdy bucket costs around $5 to $10, and a box of heavy-duty trash bags is under $15. Add a bit of kitty litter, and you've got a full sanitation system for less than $30. But here's the catch. Basic supplies like this can spike in price during emergencies, so having them on hand before a blackout is the difference between comfort and chaos. And while sanitation keeps disease away, it won't give you water to drink, food to eat, or warmth to survive the cold. That's why all the essentials we've covered, water, food, light, heat, tools, and sanitation, work together. Miss one, and your survival plan starts to crack. But get them all right, and you're not just surviving, you're controlling the chaos when the lights go out. Prepping isn't about hoarding everything in sight, it's about having the right essentials at the right time. The people who skip this list will be fumbling in the dark, running out of food, water, and warmth when the blackout hits. The ones who take it seriously, they'll stay fueled, safe, and in control, no matter how long the lights stay out. These 12 items aren't just nice to have. They're survival lifelines. Miss one and you risk chaos, stock them wisely and you're ready for anything. Because when power fails and stores are empty, the last thing you want is a pantry full of useless gear. So subscribe for more no-nonsense survival strategies. And tell me in the comments, which of these essentials are already in your kit and which ones are you grabbing before the next blackout hits? Stay prepared. Stay sharp. When the lights go out, there's no second chance.